quiet up to when I started writing poetry. And like writing, I was like realized I had so much to say, like all the stuff I had to say. And so that's how I got into poetry. Like that's my first poem. Won first place with that poem. I've been writing ever since. And spoken word came when I was a freshman in college. I was at home watching BET. This is when they still had BET News with Tavis Smiley. What's the name of it? BET.
I think BET News.
Yeah, BET News. Tavis Smiley. I can't remember like exactly. But they had like these poets from Def Jam on there. Def Jam poetry on there. And this is like my first time really hearing spoken word, like these spoken word artists. And like I realized I could do it. Like, and I went home. Well, actually, I got my pad. Like, I had this yellow legal pad. Wrote this poem called "Open Mic," which was specifically designed to be performed at open mic. And like that was my first time writing spoken word. And like everybody enjoyed it when I got on stage and did it. And, so but I like to do a mixture of both. I like to be able to write spoken word and also poetry. I want to be best at both of them.
It ain't right. I turned on the news and saw a familiar face last night. Dude I went to high school with just went to prison for life. Capital murder where many murder over capital. Even though my city ain't even a murder capital. Niggas just think they hard as mercury so they thoughts ain't rational. Plus thugs are now fashionable. Dressed in pink both local and national. Maybe next they'll start toting Lavender Gats or maybe Canary baseball bats. Now tell me, am I really supposed to be afraid of that? No. Ain't no fear in my heart. To fear is to go against God, which many do these days, but my granddaddy gave praise, so I give praise. And no matter how much it took, God gave and God gives, even though men give in about.
So, are you satisfied with where you are right now?
Nah. I'm growing, man. Like we had a good show last night, right? But yeah, like so it's a good show, but it's like I can point out 2 or 3 things that need to improve. So, nah, man, we always get better. If it's a day where I can't get better, then I'll probably stop because ain't nothing else to achieve. You know what I'm saying?
So, what are you currently working on?
Poetry hip hop album, like, and sold like 100 copies, and like people might know about it in Georgia right now in Macon, but it's a whole the rest of the nation got to know about it, and the rest of the world to me. And so I probably spend the next 2 years working on this album, getting it out there, make sure everybody knows about it. Because I was telling Chauncey, who's on WEP, CDA, I was talking to him a couple nights ago, and just saying that a lot of poets, a lot of artists actually, will just create, and like, but not like get themselves time to be exposed, and like get this piece of artwork out there. Like if you create something that you think is great, you know, like to me in 2008, you don't settle for like, oh, that's it. Well, if you're looking on trying to be successful business-wise, you don't just say, oh, that's a great piece of art and put it in your closet over there and move on to the next piece. It's like you put that mug up on the wall and make sure everybody in the world comes to see your great piece of art. And so that's what I'm working on now. With Poetry Hip Hop album, trying to make sure everybody gets to listen to it, and everything. It's easy for what it is.
And do you also have a book coming up?
Working on the book, Identity Crisis. Still writing right now, like, cause that has to be, Poetry Hip Hop album is great, and like, Identity Crisis has to be the best poetry book. I'm not gonna say best poetry book ever. It has to be like, The Philadelphia Negro by W.E. Du Bois was the first research done on African Americans, first scientific research published on African Americans. So, what I want Identity Crisis to be is the first autobiography focusing on black male identity that's done in the poetry format. So that's what I'm trying to do with that.
Okay. And there's no.
Used to have a bright view of relationships. Now the vision's kind of dim.
So I know you've been working with Kenna with the album, and he kind of, you know what I'm saying, helped you out with that, and you helped him, you know what I'm saying, and so.
Like Black and Green is.
Yeah.
The album is a Black and Green album.
Yeah. Explain Black and Green if anyone.
Yeah, like Kenna. Go back, like Okina Par, myself, Christopher K.P. Brown, we make up this thing called Black and Green, all right, and we got together 2005. He had a rap album, hip hop album, I had my poetry album. We on the same campus. We said, well, there's no need of competing against each other. Go back to Well Stars a Week again. Like, that's why I say the concept comes up like all the time. So we like, well, let's sell it together on campus. And we sold like 200 copies. in probably like 2 or 3 months, because like we were still in school and just didn't have time to like keep doing it. So 200 copies. Came back, we did a newsletter called The Seed on campus for that February for Black History Month, and then we came back and did it for 1 more semester. That money, so The Seed ended up, we doing Power of One scholarship from the Seed money used from the Seed, and so like me and O'Kenna, like we just basically like just keep doing things. And so the last album we did was a double album we did together, Fine Arts, and so this one, Poetry Hip Hop album, is produced by O'Kenna, because I produced my last album, he produced his.
Right.
But we basically took our strengths. Like my strength was producing, his strength was producing, my strength was poetry. Brought them together, and that's another reason why it's called Poetry Hip Hop album. You look at the beats, you hear the beats, it's hip hop, definitely. You know? And so O'Kenna produced his album, and it's definitely a black and green thing, because he produced it. It's my poetry, you know. We work together. And he'll be producing. Like if I do a CD, he'll be producing it, like hands down. There's no question.
You earlier mentioned that your proceeds to the Seed went to your scholarships.
Yeah.
Explain the scholarships.
Oh, we did the Power of One scholarship for Central High School here in Macon, and because O'Kenna, after we sold the 200 copies, we had 2 ideas come. I come up with the idea for the Seed, and he had already had this idea for a scholarship, but just weren't sure how to raise his money. And so I had the idea for the Seed, but it wasn't even necessarily for the money. I didn't know where the money was going. I just wanted to get the newsletter out. And so what happens, these 2 ideas come at the same time. We realized we can use money from the Seed to fund this scholarship, which ended up being $1,000 we gave out, $250 to 4 students. What it ended up being, we had 2 categories. One was poetry and one was art, visual art. And actually, the students came, and by the time this video comes out, some of them will be in college. It's kind of weird. But we actually had the competition at the Alpha pageant last year, 2007, during the intermission. It's called Power of One, and it was really fun. Like, the thing is right down the alley of what we want to do for the rest of our lives. And like, I know I want to be a teacher, professor, and O'Kenna, like, it's more and more, like I see him like just want to be involved in the community more and more. And so we got to go down the street here at Central High School. We talked to at least 150 students, like just face to face, like when in classrooms. We got to play some tracks for them. We got to talk about hip hop, do some poetry for them, all this, and like just talk to them about the scholarship and everything. And like I thought that was important because, like I said, well, in high school, nobody came and ever said anything about college, like ever. You know what I'm saying? Even though we had HBCU right down the street, like, and so like, to me, it's equivalent to be in Macon. You got Central High School right there, Mercer right here. But those kids, a lot of those kids that grew up in Macon have never like set foot on this campus, never took a tour here. None of that. That was part of the scholarship. We had to take the 4 students around and just have, because none of them had like really been on campus. They didn't like, Mercer was like, might as well be an island somewhere, and like just like so far off. And it shouldn't be like that. If it's right down the street, it's your hometown. It should be an option to you. At some point in your mind, that should seem like a real possibility for you to go to that school. And so I think we at least did that with a lot of students. I hope we at least did that with a lot of students, just by going in and talking to them, being 2 black men from Mercer, like, you know, 21, 22 at the time, just going in and talking to them, and like, this is something you can do. Like, we're at Mercer, so you can do it too. Like, it's possible. It's important to know that this is possible, you know. And but Power of One scholarship, we 4 students had 4 students, 2 in the arts category, 2 in poetry. Gave them $250 a piece to any school they wanted to go to. Alright, keep supporting us. 2 Pens of Lent. If you know about it, tell 2 more people who don't know about it. Tell them about it. Get the CD, Poetry Hip Hop album, available on 2pensoflent.com. Definitely the best poetry CD out right now. Honest.
Thank you very much.
All right.